So in this video, we're going to cover linear inequalities in two variables in terms of graphing them. Now, before we can talk about and how to graph linear inequalities in two variables, we need to do a little review based on what we need to know in order to graph correctly and to show what a graph of a linear inequality looks like. Now, when you have the inequality sign greater than and less than, it will be a dotted or dashed line. When you have these two inequality signs, greater than or equal and less than or equal, it will be a solid line. Now, for the shading part, is when your inequality, if it's y greater than or y greater than or equal to, then you will shade above the line. When it's going to be y less than or y less than or equal, then you're going to shade below the line. So make sure you remember this information, as this was covered in a previous chapter. So again, you need to know this information in order to graph correctly for linear inequalities. Alright, in our first example, we have 3x minus 2y greater than 10. In order to graph, we have to convert it into slope-intercept form, meaning get y by itself. I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. So I'm going to have negative 2y greater than, I'm going to put x first, so negative 3x plus 10. Now, in order to get y by itself, I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. Now, first, negative 2y divided by negative 2 would simply be y. And since I'm dividing both sides by a negative number, then again, make sure to remember when you divide both sides or multiply by both sides by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign to its opposite direction. So right now it's greater than, I'm going to flip it to less than. Negative 3x over negative 2 would be a positive 3 over 2x, and over here positive 10 divided by negative 2 would be minus 5. Alright, in order to graph, let's identify some key information. So first is my slope, m equal to positive 3 over 2. So since it's positive, that means up 3, right 2. My y-intercept is the negative 5, so my coordinate is 0, comma, negative 5. Now, based on the inequality that we have here, so this right here means a dotted or dashed line. And then, since the inequality is a less than, meaning it facing away from y, that means you're going to shade below the line. Alright, so let's start graphing this. So we're going to start at the y-intercept, so 0, negative 5. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, right here. And then, based on my slope, it's going to be up 3, right 2. So up 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2. Up 3, right 2. And then if you want to do one more, up 3, right 2. Alright, I think that's good enough. So we're going to make our dotted dashed line. And then from there, we simply going to shade below the line, so underneath the line. So you don't have to shade completely, you just shade where the majority will be. So this is what an inequality function when its graph would look like. So make sure to follow all the key information, meaning that identify the slope, y-intercept, determine if it's going to be a dotted or dashed line, which in this case is a dotted or dashed line, and based on the inequality sign, I'm going to have the shade below, which as shown right here. And this is what your graph should look like.